Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 700 Club. Israel is blasting a new United Nations report calling it blood libel. It accuses the Jewish state of crimes against humanity in its war with Hamas.
And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the report attacks Israel with false accusations and ignores the war crimes committed by Hamas. Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
The UN Human Rights Council report alleges Israel systematically destroyed women's healthcare facilities during the war against Hamas in Gaza and uses sexual violence as a war strategy.
Sexual and gender-based violence is increasingly used as a method of war by Israel to destabilise, dominate, oppress and destroy the Palestinian people. The Commission documented a pattern of sexual violence, including cases of rape and other forms of sexual violence, torture and other inhumane acts that amount to war crimes and crimes against humanity.
We've seen an unbelievable blood libel.
Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar blasted the report.
The so-called Commission of Inquiry of the Human Rights Council of the United Nations published one of the worst blood libels the world has ever seen, and we had seen many. It accuses the victims of the crimes committed against them. Hamas is the organization that has committed horrific sexual crimes against Israelis on October 7. It is indeed a sick publication that only an anti-Semitic organization could produce.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, some women's groups, and Israel's mission to the UN rejected the report as unfounded and anti-Semitic. On X, U.S. Ambassador-designate to the UN, Elise Stefanik, said the report ignores October 7th. The so-called Human Rights Council has failed to condemn the barbaric atrocities committed by Hamas terrorists against Israel, including the brutal slaughter, torture, kidnapping of thousands of innocent civilians, and Hamas's horrific use of rape and sexual violence against Israeli women and girls, yet disgracefully attacks Israel with unfounded smears. Concerning the hostage talks, Hamas announced they will release U.S.-Israeli hostage Edan Alexander, the last living American hostage in captivity, and the bodies of 4 dual nationals. The announcement comes as U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is in Qatar and presented a new proposal. It would extend the ceasefire by several weeks. In return, Hamas would release 5 living hostages and 10 dead hostages. The UN report against Israel comes at a key moment, as Israelis and Jews around the world today celebrate Purim, when many dress up in costumes to mark the holiday. It celebrates the time 2,500 years ago when Haman, a wicked ruler in Persia, which is now modern Iran, plotted to destroy the Jewish people. As recorded in the book of Esther, God raised up a beautiful Jewish queen named Esther to expose and stop those plans. Now, centuries later, Israelis say they again face wicked rulers in Iran who want to destroy Israel and the Jewish people. Today, many Jews and Christians around the world believe God will thwart the plans of today's wicked rulers, just like he did 2,500 years ago. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
As Representative Stefanik mentioned, the United Nations Human Rights Council was silent, has remained silent on Israeli women being brutalized and raped and tortured starting on October 7th. So they are being accused of just simply being a mouthpiece for Hamas, losing any credibility they had left.